guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Yasmin and I make DIY, home decor, and organization videos every week. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how I DIY'd IKEA Ivar cabinets to create a buffet for our dining room. I wanted a sideboard that fits perfectly in our space and design style that's also functional. I was very inspired by the fluted furniture trend and decided to create this look for myself. With all of that said, let's jump right into this project because there's a lot to do. Here's my sketch. So I'm going to be using two of these IKEA Ivar cabinets that I got from the as is section. And then I'm going to be doing like this kind of fluted look that's really trendy. But I also think it's one of those trends that's not gonna like look silly in a couple of years, so I'm really excited. And then we're gonna attach the two of them to kind of have like a bigger piece, and I'm gonna be adding some like small legs and some handles, and also we're gonna be adding like a top just to kind of make it look nicer, so we can actually like maybe make some drinks or just like serve food on there if needed. But that's kind of like the general plan. And then this cabinet is going to go on the back wall here in the dining room. So this is like the window. It's going to go right underneath the window. So we're going to head out into the garage and kind of get started. Before I set up my sander and just like start sanding, I basically went ahead and took out the drawers because I'm not going to be like painting or anything on the inside. I'm just going to leave them as is. And then I also turned them upside down. So this is like the bottom of both pieces. So I can sand because the bottom is going to get painted, but the top is not going to because I'm covering it with like a whole top portion. So it would be kind of like pointless to paint the top. So I'm going to just go ahead and start sanding now that I know which sides I'm going to be sanding. And also, on the same note, I'm not going to be sanding the middle because again they're going to be attached and we can't really see anything, so just to avoid like extra work. But now I'm just gonna get to some fun sanding. I'll share with you kind of like what I'm doing with the top. So basically the cabinet's width is about I think 11 5/8, and then the molding itself is 3/8, so that's gonna come to about 12 inches. So my initial plan was to do a simple, just a 1x12 on the top, and you know that was gonna be perfect. But then I don't know if I was the only one or if any of you also don't know this. 1x12s are not 1 inch by 12 inches. So I found that out and it kind of threw a wrench in my whole plan. It's actually 3/4 by 11 1/4. So basically what was going to happen was I was going to have a piece of wood that wasn't wide enough to cover basically the top of the cabinet, and it was going to fall like about, I think, like 1/2 inch short, and that was gonna look really weird. So I was kind of looking for a plan B, and any kind of like custom piece, like you can get those, but they would be like really expensive. Anything that's like wider, it has to be custom and you have to get it from like somewhere else. So I was just walking around Home Depot and then I saw pieces of shiplap. That's what these are. And again, this is not like the perfect plan, but I actually think it's gonna look really cute and, I don't know, quirky. So I got 3 pieces of shiplap, and the 3 of them together, like kind of how I've laid it out, it's about 14.5 inches, which is like 2.5, 3 inches bigger or like wider than what the cabinet is going to be, which is going to be perfect. It's going to give us like a little bit of this like lip over here, which I wanted initially just to kind of come over the cabinet and not definitely be short. So that's kind of the new plan for the top piece. So basically, obviously I'm going to have to cut it because these are way too long. So I'm going to cut it so it can be about like 3 inches from this side and a little 3 inches extra from that side. So basically I'll have like a kind of like an overhang from all sides, if that makes sense. So since the moldings are not here, I'm gonna, I think, just kind of start working on the shiplap and cut it, and we have to like sand it and all of that stuff. So just kind of wanted to share that with you guys if you're kind of like me and didn't know that 1x12s aren't 1x12. This is an alternative that would be cheaper than having to get like a custom piece of wood. The first piece of shiplap cut. I just used a handsaw. That's like the next thing I want to get is definitely like a miter saw or just like any kind of power saw. So obviously if you have that, go ahead and use it because it would be a lot easier. But I'm just using this for now, and also I'm going to be using the same handsaw with this jig for the moldings when they come. And apply the preconditioner, and these are good to go. I was gonna start staining them, but my moldings just arrived. Yay! I took out one piece, so it's these ones right here. They're 3/4, and so I think I'm gonna pivot and start kind of like cutting these, and maybe I will get to actually attaching them to the cabinets. I'm not sure since it's already kind of 5 o'clock, but I do want to get started on this. Have about 40 cut, and I got a little help, more than a little, and he's been cutting all of these, and I have just started kind of lightly sanding them. So I think we're just gonna finish this for today. It's 6:30, and then wrap it up and be back tomorrow. Going into day 2 of this DIY, I went ahead and laid down the cabinets, and I have the half round dowels on there just so I can kind of visualize it. I'm gonna go ahead and use some wood glue and also a brad nailer to attach the dowels to the cabinets. Doors are finished, and I just now have to go in with wood filler and just like fill all of these nail holes, and then sand that off. And then also I have to kind of sand the top, well, this is the bottom of the piece, so I can get all of these moldings straight, because I mean they're like not perfect, so have to get that kind of sanded and have it be ready for primer. So I'm finally finished sanding. I've literally been sanding for like 2 hours, but it's such an important step. Like, you don't want to like not do it and then just the end result is not gonna be great. So I've sanded everything one more time, and I'm kind of cleaning up the garage so I can set up like an area that I can start priming. it has been a couple of hours since this morning. So I finished the second coat of primer and it's looking pretty good. So I don't think I'm going to go in with a third coat of primer. So this should be ready for paint. I've already sanded it with 220, so it is literally ready for paint, but I'm not going to paint it today because it's kind of already late. But this should be good to go. And then over here, I am ready to actually stain the bottom of the shiplaps right now. And I'm going to be using this stain right here, Early American, and this is the same one that I used for the bench that I DIY'd for our entryway. Actually, like, kind of the color palette of this whole like cabinet and the dining room is going to be pretty similar, for two reasons really. Just to kind of keep, you know, costs down using the same stuff that we have, and also it creates like a cohesive color palette since our downstairs is like very open. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and stain these shiplaps underneath with this today. Hey you guys, I am back and ready to paint the cabinets. I was actually going to start tomorrow, which is the weekend, but I just logged off work and I was like, you know what, I have a couple of hours before it gets dark, so I'm just gonna go on with the first coat of paint so I can do the second coat tomorrow, and hopefully that's enough. Okay, so I am going to be using this paint. It's by Behr. It's Blackout and Satin finish. Good morning, you guys. It is finally the weekend and I am so ready to finish this cabinet. So I've already started with the second coat of paint. So I actually covered the top and the sides, and I'm getting really good coverage. So I'm really hoping a second coat would be enough. And then yeah, so I'm going to continue painting the doors, and then also I'm going to be polying the underside of the shiplap. I'm just going to do one coat of poly because again it's under the cabinet, so it's not going to be used as much, but I just want to do it right anyways. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now, and I will catch up with you guys in a couple of hours. Been two and a half hours since I painted the cabinets, so they are ready for poly now. But instead of using a regular poly, I'm actually going to be using this spray for two reasons. One, is going to be faster. Two, it's going to be a lot easier for these cabinets, especially since I have the dowels. Poly is kind of hard to work with. You have to be like really quick. So if I was to use regular poly, it would probably get all goopy and just like dry in the middle of all dowels, and we don't want that. But anyways, I also got this kind of spray nozzle to make it easier to spray, because I mean, if you guys have spray painted before, you know, once you're pressing on this little trigger for like a minute, your finger is just like sore already. So I'm gonna do like a little test piece, put my mask on, and then go in with the first coat. I got these brass legs off of Amazon. They're 4 inches and we have 8 of these, so we're gonna be putting 4 on this cabinet and 4 here. You guys, we got the legs on. They look so good. We've brought the cabinets in to attach them together because the garage floor might not be level. So this is kind of where they're gonna be with the dining room, and we're gonna be using these kind of like bolts to attach them together from the inside. So that's what we're gonna be doing right now, and then we'll attach the tops. Thing is coming together. It is so exciting. So we attached the top, and so now we're gonna move it back outside so I can do the whole like staining thing for the top, but it's looking really good. Hello you guys, so I just got up, and while Steven was taking out the light fixture in the dining room, I went ahead and did a coat of poly on this top piece, and I'm gonna wait about 2 hours, come back out here, sand, and do another coat just to give it extra protection since we're gonna be using this surface. And then the only other thing that this cabinet needs after that is us putting the knobs on. But we're so close to the finishing line, and I'm so excited. I hope that you found this IKEA hack video helpful and learned some tips and tricks that you can use in your next DIY project. I'm so happy with how this buffet cabinet has turned out, and honestly, it looks like an expensive piece of furniture from West Elm or Pottery Barn. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up because it would really help out my channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe because the dining room makeover is coming up next, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!